Hello again, welcome back to Asgard, and welcome back to Pixelgaard. So, since last episode, I have done a bit of, I've basically been cooking up a lot of apricorns and stockpiling up some of those, and also I did a little bit of mining, not a whole lot, and basically stockpiled up on just some metals and stuff that we'll use. I haven't processed them all down, but basically just kind of expanding the mine a little bit, more or less. And so anyways, what we are going to do today is we're going to continue work on this big superstructure, and we're going to start into some of the little tiles work. Start getting some of this exterior looking a little bit nicer. I don't know if we'll get through all of it today. I can hope. And then if we do manage to get through all of it, that'll be awesome. At least the exterior work. But we'll see, because I still have to bring the base of this out, and we've got a lot we got to get done. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead, and I'm actually going to try one thing here. Let me toss in that dark oak. And let me grab that, and let me actually set this to, do I want to go with that? I think I want to go with this darker wood. In fact, the only concern I'm going to have is, will it keep this texture? That is what I wanted to do. Okay, so if we build this out, and if I build this out a little bit more, is it going to, yeah, it's going to keep that beautiful exterior. Because, you know, with chisels and bits, it varies based on, basically it builds the block, and with little tiles it does not, which is great. Okay, so what I want to do, like it keeps the exterior part of the wood, instead of like, okay, so for example, if I do like this, oh no, it does. Interesting. So is the top of this, actually, yeah, I think the top of it keeps the top, okay. But anyways, just doing a little bit of testing here. So I'm going to bring this up and let's build it out like that. And then we'll do the same thing there. And then we're going to bring this down like that. Okay, so we kind of have like a pillar that that does kind of stick out right there. Probably have to make another axe here in just a second. Let's go ahead then and bring this over. Oh yeah, I see the wood right there, which is fine. Let's go ahead and bring this up. I'm going to make this basically come up like that. That. And I don't know if I want to make this too thick. Yeah, I think I do, actually. Okay. So like that. I mean, if you stand right here, you can kind of see that log texture, but it's nothing, it's not too apparent or anything. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to come over, that's like that partial block. We'll come over to like right in here. And I didn't take it. There we go. Bring that down, and then I hope my placement's going to be all kinds of wonky. No, we'll do it here. We'll just do a single one. I was planning on two, but it's going to be, if I do two, it's going to be really, really tight, and I don't want it to be like that. So more like that, I think. It's a little bit more unbalanced in favor of this side, but it doesn't have to be exact. I mean, I could get it exact, but I think that's going to look just fine. In truth. And then what I'll probably do is just copy and pattern it over to these other sides, maybe. Yeah, that's probably what I'll do. Because then because all these are going to be pretty much the same. I don't know about these back sides, though, because they're not going to have that door section there in the middle. So I'm not for sure. But we can at least build this section and then copy it there, copy it there, copy it there, and it'll be good. Okay, and that's basically it for, I think, the bottom section here. And then this top section is going to be a little bit different. tell you what I'm going to do. I'm just going to build this out like that for right now so I can stand on this a little bit easier and get better angles. Okay, what we're going to do is, for starters, we're going to bring up, let's see, for starters, we're going to bring this up like that. And then we'll go ahead and bring this over as well to there, just to keep that consistency. And I do like just the slight color change between this wood and then this bark, more or less. And then let's go ahead and bring this up right in there. Okay. All right, so then what we're going to do is let's switch this over to, I don't know if I want to switch it over to a wood, like a plank, or dark oak planks. Yeah, let me try something here. Let's dump those in there, and let's switch this to those dark oak planks, and we'll try using these. Or actually, yeah, we're going to try using these. And so what we'll do is, let's bring that down. And do we want to make this 2 wide? Or just 1 wide? Let's make this first one 2 wide. And then what we'll do is, and then 3 wide here. And kind of build this through. Oh, the only thing is going to come right here. Oh, you know what though? If I bring these out 3, the only thing is I've got to match it up over there too. Okay, I'm managing to hit. Actually, let me bring that one back. I don't need to break it off. It's the efficiency on this is what it is, because it instant breaks. But what I'm doing is, the reason it's popping back, I'm using Little Tiles undo feature, and so I'm just undoing every time that I do that. And actually, that is missing. Okay. So what we'll do then is we're going to bring out like that, and then we're going to bring these all up like this. And also I wanted to say one thing before I forget. Of course, in one of the recent videos I went over my plans for the gym team, right? And I actually had some really awesome like discussions and suggestions that came up on that video. And I am Manticora. And that's how we're going to do it, by the way. I am Manticora brought up, and this is something I did not realize. But if you put a gem on, say, whenever we do the Crobat, that's running the Acrobatics. Acrobatics is the ability that's going to boost from having no item. And anyways, they brought up running a flying gem on there. And I had never realized until I did a little bit more research after that, after that suggestion. I had never realized that, I'm actually going to bring these over, just kind of connect all this up. I had never realized that the way that proc items like that work, because I always was under the assumption that items like the gems would, did I bring that out funny? No, it's sitting right, okay. That they would proc right as the attack is going off, or they'd be consumed right as the attack is going off. Thus, it wouldn't give really a benefit to running a gem on like an acrobatics type situation. And I was incorrect. After they brought it up, I looked into it because I was like, no, I don't think that would really help, because I'd end up losing damage in that situation. But no, the way that the proc items work is they actually are consumed, then the attack goes off. So we can actually benefit with acrobatics from having the flying gem. So we're going to run a flying gem on the Crobat, which is awesome. Awesome, because that's going to be, the gems are consumed whenever an attack goes off of that type, right? If I was running, like, say, a bug gem and then I use acrobatics, it wouldn't be consumed in that case. But, so our very first acrobatics that we use each battle is going to deal 30% extra damage. So it's going to be like a big, strong attack that kind of comes out there. And is boosted. So, okay, so let's try bringing this over. And I'm going to bring it over. I'm going to balance it so that if we have to make some adjustments, because this side is a different length, just slightly different, because it's like 4 pixels smaller. Plus you have this pillar that comes up, so maybe, 2 more. So you're looking at maybe like a 6 pixel difference between this side and this side. It's a very minute difference, and I actually, in some ways, I could balance it so it's exactly the same amount of pixels, but like I said before, I actually don't care so much for perfect symmetry within the builds on here, because I think things can be too symmetrical, and adding that just a few pixel difference, it actually makes things catch, I think, to the eye a bit better. So we're going to go with a little bit of asymmetry here. And remember, I'll just be able to pattern this over to all the other sides, so we'll do that here in a minute. I'm not going to be building this out manually on each side. So the way patterns work with little tiles is just wonderful. I actually lost myself, and then I just kind of ran off with myself and wasn't keeping it balanced. Okay, so we'll go with, that's 3. Because it's not going to square up perfectly. So we're going to have to do some shenanigans in the middle, but that's fine. Yeah, okay, so there's 3. Okay, and so this is where it brings us to. So if I did that, and that, I'd have like a thinner section right there. Which actually probably wouldn't be that bad. So I could do like that, and it's not really all that noticeable because, you have a brown wood back there. Okay, so there's the first bit. We still have a little bit to add to that, though. Okay, now the next thing that I want to do is let's actually set this to... let's actually set it to drag wall. Or, I'm sorry, not drag wall, drag box. And what I want to do is we're going to go ahead and clean up this entryway and bring that back and bring, which honestly it's not going to go all the way up here where you're going to be able to see it, but I'm just going to go ahead and do this. Okay, and then what we're going to do is let's switch over to the dark oak wood and bring that down, which we'll continue this on in the inside a little bit later on. Okay, so we're going to do that, and that way it just kind of carries that through and just makes it look a whole lot better. And let's go ahead and put the stairs down where they're going to go. We're just going to use cobblestone stairs for right now. Wrong bag. This, and let's drop that there for right now. It's like placeholder building right here. And let's go ahead and do that and that. And that's basically where the stairs are going to come up and go up like that. And see, I'm actually kind of liking this wood that runs around here. Could do like that deck that runs around this. I don't think I'm going to. Maybe. I don't know. I really like it. I kind of like it. And I actually like that cobblestone kind of poking through right there. for the foundation. But no, I don't think I'm going to do that right here. We will do that in some builds coming up, but I don't think I'm going to do it here because I have a different plan. And what we're going to do... And even if it was just more of like decorative, we had like a railing that just kind of ran around there and had that there. I don't know. I kind of like that splash of dark oak in the front of this. In a weird sort of way. So maybe, just maybe. And let me try something here. Do I have, I don't, I'm going to have to pop down there and get it. I was planning on having the, foundation come down, like with the slice. Let's grab like 15 cobblestone. Let's throw it in there. Let's see. Let's set this to slice. Let's rotate it. And actually, before we do that though, let me set it to, whoops, let me set it to box. And let's actually bring it out like 2 pixels. And then we do the slice off of that. And basically just so it lines up nicely with the stairs. So if I brought it out to like, say, right there, that would be... Okay, no, you know what? I kind of want to keep that dark oak, but I think we're going to use something like that because, you know, it's probably going to be with more of like, well, another structure. We're going to have that like traditional, I know my terminology may be off, but we're going to have like a deck, like that traditional Japanese style deck that you see on a lot of like feudal houses and feudal structures and stuff. That deck that just kind of runs around, you know, and in a lot of cases it'll run between rooms and stuff like that. We will do something like that, but not on this building because I can't do the foundation kind of how I wanted to do it without or while doing that, you know. So I don't think we're going to do that here, but what we're going to do is we're going to set this to box, and we're going to bring this over, say, 1, 2, 3, kind of honestly thinking to here, like a full, and then we'll just bring this, I'm just going to bring it down like that. Not really, you're not even going to be able to see it. We could just do a single layer, but generally if you do like a half slab, items won't fall through. I don't know if it's so much of an issue anymore, but I just know that in some cases items can they kind of like jiggle through the flooring, so I like to be safe in that regard. And then what we're gonna do, let's bring this foundation out like say to there, so it's kind of slanted and then it kind of matches up with where the stairs would be. So you kind of have this going on, and then what we'll do is it's going to kind of move into kind of a bricked in area. It's not going to just connect into grass right there, but this is just going to kind of be slanted there. And then we'll kind of do the same thing over here, and I imagine that's probably 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's actually perfect. 8 pixels, so it's kind of like a half slabs movement. So if we had, say, stairs that run down here, it would actually kind of line up just right. And then this stuff, I don't know if I want to pattern this or just do it all by hand, because it's actually not overly difficult to do this by hand. So if we did, well, I'm out of cobblestone. Okay. Now there's Shaymin. Do we want to try to catch Shaymin? Yeah, might as well. It'll be our first mythical on camera. Well, actually our first mythical ever that we catch. Shaymin broke free. Cool. I don't know. I don't know how much. I haven't looked into the lore much with Shaymin. So it may be like super powerful. It does have, oh, I hate when this happens. Sometimes whenever you try to zoom in during a Pokemon battle, it kind of does this thing. Okay. And, yeah, there we go. Legend, wait for it, Dairy. which of course is a reference to How I Met Your Mother. Let me reconnect up, because that's a visual glitch that happens on occasion. There we go. Where whenever you zoom in, it just kind of it gets all buggy. So Shaymin is it's actually a mythical. It's not really a legendary Pokemon. It's a mythical. You know, it's kind of similar. Some kind of berry that it's holding. What is that? Lumberry. Okay. But Shaymin's one of those that if you don't, does that not? Oh, I thought that was a Lumberry too. If you don't really kind of keep it in mind, you kind of forget about it. It's very forgettable Pokemon. It probably has something in the lore that makes it mythical. You know, normally you have mythical Pokemon that are very powerful, or, you know, different things, but Shaymin, I guess there's something in the lore, but Shaymin's just, it seems like something that would be like a grass starter type or something to me. Of course, it does have form change, which I guess is cool, but come on, Tailo. I keep forgetting to stop by the Poké Center because some of my attacks are running out of PP. But there we go. But so that's our very first legend. Oh, wait, how did this happen? This ain't, oh, because I forgot to bring this out. Okay, 1 second here. Let me build this section out as it's intended to be to there, and now we can bring this up and connect it in. Okay, and I'll probably do the rest of those just off camera because it's pretty straightforward. We build this section and then slice it down to there, but that's kind of how the base is going to be that comes out of this, kind of slanted like that, and I think that's really going to make it pop. And I guess we're going to stick with the cobblestone. I mean, the cobblestone just makes... I mean, the stairs aren't going to be cobblestone. So there will be some contrast. At least I don't think they are. I mean, there's nothing really wrong with them being stone, but yeah, I think it's going to make it pop. It's going to make it look like it's actually got a foundation kind of going on here. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to take... and we're going to do it like 3 tall. And we're going to bring this out to say right there. And let's see, pop up to here, and let me build out that. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I did 3 tall. Okay. Bring it out to right there. And then one more time over here to there. Okay, and that, we're going to spruce that up a bit. First thing I want to do is we're just going to bring out a little bit like that, just to kind of give it, not really round it out, but kind of round it out. And actually maybe, let me cancel those two actually. Maybe bring it out like that. And then over here like that. Yeah, I think so. And then we're going to do the same thing. Well, this side's a little bit more tricky. Well, not really, because this is still going to come down a bit. So we're going to do that. Which I kind of like the way that the wood grain kind of pops through on that, because it gives it like an extra layer of texture, I think. And then over here, which we're going to fix those corners up in a minute, but we'll do that. Okay, and then what we're going to do, we're actually going to have lights that hang off of these. Is kind of what I'm thinking, which we'll get to those. It might not be till the decorating stage, you know, we're kind of focusing on the structure of the little tiles right now. But we are going to have lights that kind of hang off of that, probably done with little tiles so that they line up nicely. And that's all going to get copied over to over there. Okay, so what I want to do now at this stage, we have a little bit more to add to this, but what I want to do is I want to copy this over to the additional sides. And so what we're going to do is we're going to set up our little workbench. And we're going to take our little recipes. Let me just grab one of these. And we are going to... Actually, what I'll probably do is I'm going to right-click right there. Then I'm going to come over here. I'm going to add a block right there just so I can get all this in. And then we're going to right-click there. And then I'm just going to undo that block. Okay, so that is our structure. And then we're going to put this into here. We're going to hit craft. And there we go. We got a multi-tile structure. Let's go ahead and get 3 of these for right now. Let's rotate this so that it's the right facing, which is where our posts kind of come out. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to set and we're going to hit M. Okay. And, oops. M. And what we're going to do is we need to line all this up. And so basically, we're going to hold shift and hit down and get this. No, I want to go up. Is it, see, shift up is not working. There we go. You have to like hold it. I think maybe it's a conflict actually. So I'll have to look into that, but that's fine. Got that just how I want it. And then what we're going to do is, oh, let me do a Control C real quick. It can only be placed if there is space for all tiles. Now I want it to be, we'll try to fill in the tiles if they don't know. Overwrite, we'll place all tiles and remove the overlapping space. Cannot remove structure tiles. Yeah, I think I want it in overwrite mode. I believe that. I believe that's what I wanted on. Okay, so what we're going to do, let's bring this over. Okay, let's bring this over and let's make sure that this all lines up. It does. And then it's my Pokemon change button. Previous party slot is up. Let me change that to like multiply. Okay, so now I should be able to do this correctly. Alright, so let's basically what we're going to do is we're going to push this into the wall. And that way everything lines up nicely. I'm going to just push it all the way in right now. See, that would be totally lined up. And I need to bring this out. Basically, it's, what, 2 pixels? Yeah, 2 pixels. So let's do that and that. And I think that's good. So there will be a little bit of a change here because we don't have the door, but basically it's just going to be another little segment. We'll throw it together, we'll copy it, we'll move it, and do it on this other side, and all will be right with the world. So let's go ahead now and just right-click, and there we go. We have copied that entire structure bit over to here, and then basically I have to do this on the other side as well. So we'll just come on over, and well, I need one more also. I've got to make some more blocks. And what we're going to do is, once again, hit M, and we're going to line this up real quick. There we go. And then we are going to push it back. And we're going to hold shift and bring it up. Basically up until... yeah, to right there. Yeah, I got that one on right. Okay. Just making sure. And then we'll just right-click and pow. There we go. Okay, so the entire structure is copied over. As you can see, once you get really fluid with it, of course I had some control, some keybind conflicts there, but it all works pretty well. And we can easily move over big chunks of the structure as we build it up. And like I said, the higher floors are going to be, for the most part, fairly similar. The top floor maybe being the one exception. Possibly I've got a couple ideas that I might bring in for those. Okay, and I was actually just thinking I was going to do the pattern and basically do some small changes so that we could copy it over to here. But then I was like, oh yeah, because this isn't actually... symmetrical, because we've got this segment that's shorter on this side, this one that's longer. So I think the quickest thing to do actually is just going to be really quickly to just rebuild it over on this side. So I'm going to go ahead and do that just off camera, and then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to copy the pattern and then copy it to each of the 4 sides. And then what we'll do, we still have a little bit of work. This isn't all of it. but I just want to go ahead and get this copied over so that we have the basic frame, and then the rest of it we can really quickly change. And then it's not big chunks of pattern that we have to move over. It's smaller segments, segmented bits, like, you know, whenever we do the lanterns and just little things like that. So anyways, I will be back once I get this design basically mirrored over to this side. Okay, so I got that copied over. It didn't take very long at all. And now what we need to do is, which we still have to do the threshold, we'll work on that. Probably won't be this episode, but in an upcoming episode. Like I said, it's gonna be a fair few episodes of little tiles, because like right now we're just getting the basic structure on, and we do have a little bit more stuff that we're gonna have to add to this. Now right here, where these two would meet, this little section here, what we're gonna do is we're basically just going to, let's see, we're gonna bring that down, basically just like that, just so it all looks like it kind of comes together. We might add more to that as time goes on, but it's just a very minor thing. And I've got to do that on all the sides. Also, let's see, right here, let's see something. It's kind of hard to see this sometimes from a distance. Yeah, see, right there's where I copied the pattern over. Let's go ahead and clean those up as we go around from these little segments that come out. I'm not going to worry about making this into a pattern. Let's see, I think I brought it down 1 pixel, right? Which actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to have it come and just be even with this, and then do that instead. I think that looks a little bit better. Also, earlier I was breaking these with the pickaxe. Don't forget, and I forget sometimes, that you can just, you know, left click there and then drag it over and say, boom, there goes everything. So you can do that if you want. If it's easier. Like I said, I forget about it sometimes, but it tends to be for cleaning up a lot of stuff like that. The drag box function on the hammer is wonderful. It's wonderful. I love the fact that like everything in little tiles you can just kind of drag and do. Once you get used to it, it's a whole lot more fluid than doing stuff with chisels and bits, for sure. There we go. And that should be everything. I think I already pulled off, yeah, I already pulled that off. So that takes care of that. Now the only other thing that we've got to do, and this should be pretty quick, is we have to, and this will just be the basic frame. I do think we're going to add a couple things to this to make these segments pop a little bit, but not this episode. Right now I'm working on just the basic framework aspect of these segments. So we're just going to bring this over. And this is basically just going to be like pretty much a continuation of what we've done leading up to this. And then we're going to do this segment here. There we go. And then let me copy it over here, and then we got to add the little beams that run down. Okay, so there's that. And then... And we don't have to do it on the other sides, of course, because they have doors. Basically just these little segments here. And then we're going to grab this. We're going to come down and do 3. Grab this. Come down, do 3. And then count our pixels across. Add a 2 wide. There. 2 wide. And then we've got this little segment in the middle. I'm probably just going to do a 2 wide right there. So there we go. Okay. So that all lines up nicely, and then of course the middle sections are a little bit thinner. That's okay. And there we go. Okay, so now we've got those on, and that means this little pattern, and hopefully my Pokemon aren't going to be all laggy flying right now. Nope, they're good. So there we go. That's what it looks like so far. And like I said, we've got a lot of like little detail stuff that we've got to add. It's going to really make this pop a bit more. But I do think it looks better than it did, right? And then we have to do a pattern. Basically, it's going to be kind of similar to this, but it's actually going to be a little bit more ornate on these upper floors. These, at least the mid 3. This top floor, I'm thinking about having, of course, we'll still have woodwork on the walls there, so it's not that plain white. But I think what we're going to do actually on those upper sections is we're going to have possibly a balcony that kind of comes out, just a thin little balcony, so you can step out. And I might actually open up a little bit more of these light gray walls for that upper section, but we'll see. And I'm still tossing around the idea of having kind of a balcony, not really but a rail that kind of comes out and goes around this or something. I don't know. I'm still debating. And I'm also thinking about doing some kind of a block in here instead of it just having the spruce wood there. Actually, maybe. Let's see if I did. See if we made this a bit darker. Let's see. We would need black, cyan, yellow. All right. Let's see. Let's do that. Let's do that. And then let's do that. And let's go ahead and toss these in. And let's see. That would be... Let me try this. Because what I'm thinking is, instead of it just being... Because it's kind of... You know, that brown really kind of stands out. And I actually want it to look almost shadowed to an effect. I think this is probably going to be a little bit too dark, but we'll make some adjustments as needed. I just want to see how it looks once it's up on the wall. So if we did like that, that pops a bit more. I actually don't know if I want to have it that dark. I don't know. Kind of like it that dark though. Let me back off at a distance here. You know what? I actually kind of like that. It really makes that pop a lot more. But if you get up really, really close, you can see it's still wood back in there. But let me try just a little bit lighter of a color. Yeah, I think I like that. It's not quite so overly dark. But it does really make that that dark oak planks really, really pop against it. Let's see. And if we back off, yeah, let's go with that. We're going to dye that wood on the exterior a bit. I think I like it. I think that alone makes it really stand out a lot more than it was. So, and it's pretty easy to fix all of this. Thanks to having dye seeds, that helps a lot actually. Which I guess really what I could do is just do this. Run it all the way across. Boom, change a whole segment at once. And, which actually, let's see. I'll show you a neat trick here in just a second. There we go. And then over here, this is where I'm going to show you. If we do that, oh, not enough material, dark oak planks. Okay. Oh wait, I need to start making these out of diamond. Just so we have some decent durability. I actually want... Oh, I grabbed fancy. What I actually want is plank. Okay, let's pop back up here. Oh, I like that so much more. I like it so much more, actually. And let me see. Control C. Will only replace the tiles with the overlapping space. Cannot remove. I think that's the one I want. So what we're going to do is we're going to right-click there. Then come over and boom. And you can see it didn't do this, but I did the entire segment in one go. So it's only going to replace tiles. It's not going to add any new tiles, right? And that's what we want there. Okay, so that means that that little segment there is done. Now, we still have a little bit of work to do, and I'm going to debate about a couple things. Part of me thinks, you know, maybe sprucing up the ceilings here would go a long way into making this look a bit nicer. And then part of me thinks, well, I kind of like just the plain wood grain up there. I will probably end up adding something up there, but I'm not 100% sold on that idea right this second. We'll see. We shall see. So, but anyways, it looks a whole lot better already, that bottom section. But we are going to add a little bit more later. Right now, I just want to get the basic look down. So next episode, this is going to be about it for this episode. We spent a while on this, but we also covered patterns and some other stuff. So I guess there's that. Little tiles, of course, it's going to take a little while. You don't get a whole lot of like projects done working on little tiles, but you do feel accomplished after you're done, I think. But next episode, we're going to do the little tile work for these sections up here. At least the mid sections. I'm not for sure about the top section because, like I said, we might end up putting a balcony that you can walk out on, or we might not. We might actually just bring it up, and that might be all that we do to that section. I'm not 100% sure just yet, so I'll debate about that and figure out what I want to do up there. But so we will continue bringing this up next episode. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. It was fun. We got quite a bit done, or technically we got quite a bit done. I mean, it's a small segment of this, but that's gonna be part of it. But anyways, we'll continue work on this. It's just the base layer, but we'll continue work on this next episode. We have a lot of little tiles coming up, so fun times. But I know it's actually a very highly requested mod that I do some work with it on camera, so we will be doing a lot within this series. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, as always, be sure and hit that like button and go ahead and subscribe if you're not already to stay updated with when new videos come out. Also, quick note, these corners, we are going to be fixing these up. There's a couple ideas that I have in my head. I've just got to decide which one I want to go with. So maybe next episode, maybe the episode after or whatever. But we are going to set these corners up. And we're actually probably going to end up having a pillar that runs up to here and connects up. But we'll get into that later. But anyways, I hope to see you guys next time. Until then, as always, do take care, stay safe, and I'll see you guys then.